Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being well-informed. Today, we're plunging into a story that's really, right at the heart of American politics. It just keeps unfolding. Picture this, July 2025, Times Square. There's this huge neon sign asking, Trump, why won't you release the Epstein files? Yeah, but here's the kicker, the detail that makes you stop. That billboard, paid for by his own most loyal Magier supporters.
Yeah, it's quite something. It really shows how that kind of populist communication strategy carries its own risks. You build power on suspicion, on anti-establishment talk,
Right.
and eventually that skepticism, it just boomerangs. It comes right back at you, even from your core base, creates this vacuum of trust.
A fascinating paradox, and it's playing out right now. So our mission today is to distill the really critical bits from, a whole stack of sources on the Jeffrey Epstein affair. We're focusing on the recent stuff involving Donald Trump, the political fallout from this dossier that's still not out. We'll walk you through the timeline, the key people, the big implications. Let's start with that political pressure cooker around the dossier. So, July 2025, the House takes this early summer recess, officially. It's logistical circumstances.
It's convenient.
Exactly. But the sources we've looked at, they say the uncomfortable truth is that Republican Speaker Mike Johnson wanted to avoid a vote on releasing the Epstein dossier. He was worried it would expose these, fault lines within the Republican Party, as one source puts it.
So he blames the Democrats.
Yep. Accused them of political games, and maybe not surprisingly, seemed pretty reluctant to push the Department of Justice on it. But the really seismic shift, the thing shaking things up, is happening within Trump's own base. I mean, this is the guy who promised to unmask the pedophile elite in Washington.
It's the core message.
And now he's getting questions, loud questions from those same loyal followers. You see it on Telegram, on X, even Truth Social. What is he holding back? It's a stark thing, isn't it? The man who taught distrust is now being distrusted by his own. How unusual is that kind of internal skepticism?
Well, it's critical. Populist movements often get attacked from the outside, sure. But this hits right at the core promise, that drain the swamp idea. It creates this cognitive dissonance inside the movement. It's an internal crisis of trust, and that's arguably much more damaging than outside criticism. It uses his own tools against him.
And the timing of his U-turn on this, it's very telling. Back in May 2025, his AG, Pam Bondi, makes this big public promise, release all Epstein documents, including the guest list.
Right, the implication was transparency.
Total transparency. But then the twist. Our sources say Bondi tells Trump, after that promise, that his name is in the dossier multiple times.
Not just once.
Not just once, repeatedly. And almost immediately, the White House steps in. The narrative flips from openness to suddenly it's about protection of victims, discretion.
And the official reason.
Oh, child pornography and sensitive information. One source we read pretty colorfully called it the legal equivalent of the dog ate my homework.
Oh.
Even FOX News reportedly raised eyebrows at this sudden shift to needing careful investigation. So this quick intervention, for a lot of people, it felt like a bigger confession than whatever might be in the files.
The cover-up becoming the story.
Exactly. The question shifted, not what's in the documents, but why isn't he releasing them? Is he scared? Guilty? Or, and this is the killer first base, is he actually part of that deep state he railed against?
That cuts right to the bone of his whole political identity.
Absolutely. Okay, let's dig into Trump's history with Epstein. It's long, it's tangled. This wasn't just, a passing thing. Sources confirm years of association. 2 billionaires, parties, drinking the same champagne, as one source put it.
Part of the same elite circle.
Right. And Trump himself, back in 2002, said he'd known Epstein 15 years, called him a great guy, and famously admired Epstein's taste in women, specifically many women on the young side.
Which sounds very different now.
Very different. Of course, later he claimed he was never a fan, said the friendship ended because Epstein was recruiting young women at Mar-a-Lago. But the specific details, they paint a much more, vivid picture. Our sources lay out specific incidents like the New York Times reconstructed this event at Mar-a-Lago. Trump hosts a models competition. Epstein is the only guest.
Just the two of them.
2 men, 28 girls, and a pool. The source says if you don't want to imagine that, that's probably better.
Grim picture.
And then there's Epstein's 2006 police interrogation in Palm Beach. His first arrest for soliciting minors. They asked him straight up, were you ever with Trump when underage girls were present?
And his response.
According to reports, he just smiled and invoked the 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendments.
Wow. All three.
3 at once, like locking a door 3 times, the source said, just in case. And it gets weirder, almost unbelievable details. The Wall Street Journal reported this alleged incident, Epstein's 50th birthday card. Apparently, Trump drew a nude woman on it, signed his name as, well, as the pubic hair.
Okay.
Nope, wished him a wonderful secret every day. It's so specific, it's almost hard to dismiss as just invented, you know?
And Trump's reaction.
Denied it, of course. I don't draw pictures. Called it fake, like everything else he doesn't like. That deny everything reflex.
Standard playbook.
Beyond incidents, there's documentary evidence, too. The famous Black Notebook, not found in some raid, just found on a Fifth Avenue sidewalk in the mid-90s.
By a musician.
Seriously. Just lying there. Just lying there. Inside, Epstein's details, alongside names like Kennedy, Rockefeller, Trump, alphabetical. Business Insider got access, confirmed Trump's name multiple times. Different numbers. Palm Beach, Manhattan, Mar-a-Lago.
Suggesting more than just a casual contact.
Right, like a fixed guest, the source suggests. Or maybe the man to call when there's something to celebrate or something to cover up. And the notebook also had girls' names. Some later reported uncomfortable remarks, unwanted touches.
Okay, look, just being in an address book isn't a crime, obviously. But when you stack up all these details, the parties, the events, the evasive answers, the notes, this notebook, it really forces you to ask, what was the real extent of their connection? This pattern, it gets harder and harder to just brush aside.
And for Trump's base, one source points out this painful irony, realizing the elite has an address book and they'll never be in it. It kind of underlines that feeling of being outside the system he promised to tear down, but now seems part of.
A bitter pill.
Okay, moving on. We have to talk about the unanswered questions, the diversions, the phantom tapes, starting with Epstein's death. The suicide in that high-security cell, official story, no one saw anything.
Right.
The DOJ releases 11 hours of camera footage, shows no human near his cell, and conveniently, 2 guards by coincidence fell asleep simultaneously.
Right.
But here's the bit that set off alarm bells everywhere. Somewhere in those 11 hours, 1 minute is missing. Vanished.
The explanation.
Technical malfunction.
Of course.
Yeah. Skepticism was instant. People saying, this isn't justice, it's image direction. Plus, the autopsy found fractures in the larynx, the hyoid bone.
Which points more towards strangulation.
Often, yes, more than suffocation. So the question becomes less who helped him and more who didn't. It's murky. Then you've got Ghislaine Maxwell, convicted in 2022 for recruiting minors. Now, she says nothing anymore. As if she's waiting for something.
Holding it.
Maybe. Sources reveal this fascinating detail. July 24th, 2025. Trump's personal lawyer, Todd Blanche, one source calls him his undersecretary, visits Maxwell. She apparently talked honestly about Epstein and about 100 others for a day and a half.
100 others? How long was this meeting?
9 hours, reportedly. But get this. No transcript, no images, no official record. Just the visit happened.
Very discreet.
And then, a week later, Maxwell gets transferred to a lightly secured prison camp in Texas.
Interesting timing.
Her lawyer starts openly talking about hoping for grace, a pardon from Trump. Trump's response, super evasive. I can do it, but it's not something I've thought about.
Yeah, what's really fascinating there is the potential leverage. Maxwell's silence, that high-level visit, the transfer, it just fuels all this speculation about what she knows and who she might be protecting or perhaps waiting on. It feels like a chess game. And she's a very powerful piece, even locked away.
And you can't talk about Epstein without mentioning the sex tapes. This widespread belief, tens of thousands of them. But, nobody's actually seen them. Mythical, almost.
Almost. But they are mentioned in court records, witness statements. Names like Clinton, Prince Andrew, Richard Branson get thrown around. Allegations of microcameras hidden everywhere in Epstein's homes, supposedly for blackmail.
So do they exist or not?
Depends who you ask. Lawyers involved give conflicting stories. Some say no, others say the FBI has an ongoing investigation.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? In a country that runs on distrust, the less actual footage there is, the bigger the story becomes in people's minds. The unknown is more powerful.
The vacuum gets filled with speculation.
Exactly. And amidst all this, Trump deploys his classic move, diversion. Create, as one source puts it, a dense, impenetrable mist. Late July, he starts accusing Obama of plotting a coup, staging the Russia thing.
Did it work?
Sources say the media did not bite this time. When asked about Epstein in Edinburgh during this EU trade deal thing, he just calls it a hoax. Then posts on Truth Social about the best 6 months of a president ever, while the fake news media focuses on the hoax, just creating noise.
It's a familiar pattern. Yeah, which brings us to what one source calls the tragicomedy that is Trump's downfall. Conspiracy theories worked for him for years, his main weapon. But now, they're coming back like a boomerang.
Right.
His power was built on rumors, half-truths, and repetition. Say something often enough, it becomes true for your audience. Conspiracy was his favorite tool. Think the 2020 elections were stolen? Truth wasn't about facts. It was about what sticks.
And that connects right back to what we were saying about information in the digital age. It
Oh.
shows how easily these powerful narratives can just steamroll verifiable facts, especially when people feel something's being hidden from them. If you've built a culture of skepticism towards official stories, that skepticism can absolutely be turned back on you.
And the media tries, right? They fact-check, analyze, and refute. But as one source observes, whoever constantly debunks a lie keeps it alive.
It feeds the cycle.
Trump just creates this overwhelming noise, blurring the lines between lie and truth. The Epstein affair, one source argues, could become bigger than Watergate, or the Lewinsky debacle.
Yeah.
And Trump himself, described as turning like a weather vane in a tornado, back and forth on releasing the files. It's the reflex, they say, of a man who no longer trusts his own shadow, knowing just one document, one name could be enough to sweep him off the stage.
High stakes.
Immense. So we're back where we started, really. The central paradox. A leader who promised transparency now facing intense heat over hidden information, and it's coming largely from his own supporters. Public opinion reflects it. 7 out of 10 Americans now think Trump is hiding something. Only 17% approve of how he's handling it. One source uses this powerful image. Epstein is a wound that will not heal, because Trump is the one who reopened it. When he made those promises, he's now, apparently, unable or unwilling to keep. So as you think about all this, here's a final thought for you to chew on. Our source paints this really stark picture of the American legal system in this mess, calls it a paper corpse in the closet, where facts seem like just props in a script already written. What does that mean for how we understand truth when we don't know what we're maybe prevented from knowing becomes way more powerful than what we do?
Yeah, and that raises a really important question for all of us, doesn't it? In a world where, as the source suggests, who knows too much disappears from the history of power. Thinking about Ghislaine Maxwell allegedly being cut from a photo, how do we even begin to tell reality apart from the carefully managed narrative?
Yeah.
And what's our responsibility as citizens trying to stay informed, to dig deeper, even when the truth seems deliberately buried?